welcome to the High Tech Low Life podcast. This is Starlogical, and in here I have co-host Tyrant. I believe
Hello.
I believe you're the United States Tyrant.
Yes.
Yes, there's two of them. Except the other one's not here today, so I didn't have to mention that at all. So as I was saying, so let's first begin the night by just talking about one thing that's pretty like. Sorry, I gotta mute my phone real quick.
Take your time.
Okay, but so what I was saying is something that's pretty like close and dear to our YouTubers, and it could happen to anyone, no matter how big they are, is something called the Ethereum Foundation hack, which is essentially so the Ethereum Foundation is an actual organization. They do a lot of Ethereum coin trading. And you know what Ethereum is?
I actually do not know myself, but based off, I think I may have heard a little bit of it, but don't have much context on it.
So Ethereum is basically like Bitcoin. In fact, I think it was the one thing that was being mined for a while. I mean, like remember,
Okay.
like I don't know. Do you follow PC parts and prices and stuff?
Um, I used to years ago, but not as much as I used to.
So essentially, the rise in Bitcoin and Ethereum mining, mostly Ethereum mining, was the cause of like PC parts skyrocketing, especially graphics cards. It's
All
part of
right.
the reason why Nvidia sells a $1,000 graphics card now instead of what used to be like $500.
Yeah.
And let's let's not we're not talking about that. But we're talking about I don't know who no one knows about this. No one's covering this, but essentially a lot of like random YouTube accounts are getting hacked and they're being and like their profile picture and their display name is being changed to Ethereum Foundation or some variation. Sometimes it's not spelled correctly, and
That's
and
strange.
yeah, and I mean, there's some screenshots that are up there. I mean, have you seen them?
I may have to check those out currently.
Yeah. So if you scroll up past a lot of this stuff, you'll notice that a lot of people like a lot of people just have like total account takeovers. Like this one used to be a guy named Legendary X8. He was hacked and his stuff was turned into Ethereum stuff. And I don't know what videos that he used to have. He sounds like someone that used to play video games, but it seems like there's nothing related to video games. There's a bunch of like random Russian crap on here, and I'm not really
Yeah.
sure what it was. And the second screenshot here I have is well, the URL doesn't display their username, but it does display, but they have like a banner logo on their page, and it says the official channel of Real Play 22, or is it Real Play ZZ? I don't know, but the point is the banner image is there. It's very clear that this guy had a YouTube like persona. He has a Twitter, he has a YouTube. He doesn't seem to have a Facebook or a Twitch, but it's whatever.
All
And
right.
his username was changed to Ethereum Foundation.
Wow.
He has about 7 subs, and his profile picture was changed to whatever their logo is. It looks like a diamond.
What's
And
this?
so,
Welcome to the
welcome to the
podcast.
podcast.
Oh
Please,
no.
please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Claude.
Nice to meet you, Claude. So, we're talking about the Ethereum Foundation hacks. I talked about it at length in the server a few days ago. I mean, a few hours ago. And essentially, a ton of random YouTube channels have been getting hacked, and their
Yeah, I saw
usernames.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
no, I totally, I saw something similar. It was with a digital wallet company. They were using a fake name to impersonate. Basically, it was phishing with a PH, not with an F. where they were trying to steal people's credit card information by claiming to be a company that does cryptocurrency and whatnot. And they hacked a bunch of YouTube accounts.
Well,
Yeah, I was talking about it the other day because it was one of the accounts I was subscribed to got hit. I don't even know what account it was.
okay, so Ethereum is a real thing. The
Right.
Ethereum Foundation is an actual company,
Right.
and it's part of the reason why. I mean, so do you follow PC parts?
I do not.
So it's part of the reason why graphics cards have like skyrocketed in price. It's part of the reason
Right.
why Nvidia sells $1,000 GPU when
Mm-hmm.
the GTX 1080 Ti at launch used to be like $500, $600. That was last
Yeah.
generation too.
Yeah, I remember
Right.
seeing it a little bit.
Yeah.
And so they're not taking responsibility for this, which I do believe that they should take responsibility at some point. Like I understand that they might not be the ones behind the hacking, but they
Right.
should do something because someone's taking their name and they're sullying it with a bunch of like hacks.
Right.
Like imagine if let's take Hedgehog. We all know who Hedgehog is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if a bunch of like people started hacking random YouTube accounts and like putting under her name. Do you
Mm-hmm.
know how that would make her feel? Probably not great.
I think if she got hacked, we'd all be devastated.
Oh well,
That's fair.
that would be fair. I wasn't talking about her being hacked. I was talking about someone hacking accounts and just renaming them to an angry hedgehog.
Well, I know, but still.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'd be devastated if my YouTube account was hacked. That's why I use a different password for every account that I own. Because
I need to do that more.
Me too.
because essentially, how many think about it? How many emails do you guys have?
About two. One for
Four.
my university, one for my university, one for personal stuff.
2.
So your quote unquote personal stuff, does that include like any forums you might have registered for, or like your Steam account or Epic Games
Yeah,
account?
like Steam account, Twitter, like
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Now imagine if you signed up for a website. Let's say maybe could be a couple years ago by this point, but let's say that its database was leaked and the password that
Yeah,
you used for that that website was
it's
in fact
compromised.
compromised. I know because my original email was compromised at one point.
Wow.
I checked on haveibeenpwned.com and it checks your email in a database of like leaks that are public leaks that have been made public, obviously. Like, hold on. I'm gonna Google it and then let me send it to y'all guys. Y'all can check to see if your email's been compromised. But essentially, I've had to migrate just about every aspect of my email and turn on two-factor authentication for everything I do.
I've done that from my email.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know how you put in like your phone number and stuff, the two-step for like Google, for example.
Yeah, I do that, but I know my PSN account was actually hacked at one point.
Wow.
Basically, if nothing happened, there wasn't like a bunch of like fraudulent charges on my thing. That would be really devastating. But what they basically did was they removed my home Xbox. I'm not my home PlayStation. Sorry.
But why?
So they could play my games on their PlayStation. I mean, to be fair, I only owned Bloodborne because at that
Well, I
point,
mean, it's the only game worth owning.
well, I mean, that used to be the case, and it still kind
No,
of
I
is
know.
because I don't own any other game but Bloodborne on PS4.
It's a good ass game.
Yeah, it's really good. But
It's my favorite game.
but besides that point, have y'all ever been hacked before?
Not really.
Not to my memory.
Well,
I've been fairly lucky, but also I don't use many accounts on very much. Not any accounts that are worth anything anyway.
Yeah. I think I remember I was on a website that was like
Ow.
I think it was like I was back in high school. We had this program that was called. You ever heard of Edmodo? It was like
Uh,
a program that they used back for like in high school for tracking student progress. I heard it was hacked and all the email addresses of like students were
Edmodo?
compromised.
Is that like Blackboard?
Similar to Blackboard, yeah. And I remember
Yeah,
that
we
being compromised, and I didn't, and I actually initially ignored it. But perhaps I have to. It's been a while since I looked back at it, but I long since deleted my Edmodo account. But I just heard of like the website being compromised, but nothing happened to my email address in terms of nothing of my information, whatever was taken. But that did scare me just looking back and realizing that my email address could have been easily being used to access any of my personal information
well,
when that website was hacked.
all I can say is that my bank account's not tied to that email that was compromised.
Mine isn't
Right.
either.
So,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I'm pretty Gucci on that.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, yeah. Have you heard? So have you ever heard the news about the Tesla car controversy? They gave the guy back his
No.
features.
No.
So you know how some guy bought a Tesla used, which had all of these like bells and whistles, like autopilot and stuff enabled, and
Yeah.
Tesla took those features away from him because he didn't technically pay them.
What? That's not how that works.
Well, I mean that's how it works in the digital era, my friend. You don't own anything.
No, that's not how that. No. That's not how that works. If I bought a computer with like a high-end graphics card and I sold it to my friend, fucking Nvidia can't say you can't use that graphics card because you didn't buy it. That's not how that works.
Well, you know, if Nvidia had their
Our-
if Nvidia had their
if
way,
it's a subscription service, then yes. But if you bought the car and you paid to have these extra features, if you give someone else the car, they get those features with the car. That's not how that works. You can't
well,
just.
had Tesla had their way,
Oh boy.
yes, that would be how that works. But, you know, the good news is Tesla recognized like the fallacy behind all this and returned the man his features. And, you know, on one hand, that's good. He got a Tesla with like $8,000 upgrades for free.
Actually, no.
Wow.
You know what that would be. I'll change my analogy for one that makes more sense. Would be if I bought a PS4 and I bought a bunch of games on it, and then I sold it to my friend because I didn't want it anymore. And then Sony said you can't own those games because you didn't buy those games. That would be the equivalent of this.
Well, no one really knows how. Well, Tesla, being a tech company,
Yeah,
is
more
does
so than Sony.
well, Sony. Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
tech
If Microsoft had Microsoft not like completely
Yeah, Microsoft
like
or Sony, either of them.
yeah, had Microsoft not like just like basically ruined themselves this generation at E3 2013, it would
Yeah.
have been that way because that was what the Xbox originally was going to be. It was going to be that what you just described.
I remember that and all the negative reception that like the Xbox One got when it was first announced back in 2013.
Well, I'm not saying that like that's the only thing that caused Xbox to
Oh no,
lose
of
their
course not.
momentum. That's
Oh no,
a
of course.
big one.
That thing had a lot more problems back when it was first introduced. Other than the topic.
Yeah, like back when the
Right.
console was introduced, guess what they didn't? Guess what they showed, and guess what they didn't show?
Games and TV.
Yeah, they
from
showed off
what I remember.
they showed a lot of TV and a lot of like media consumption. Okay, that's cool. No games. No games.
Welcome
though.
to the
Okay.
podcast.
It's funny.
Welcome to the podcast, Foxy.
Bye, Foxy.
So yeah, I
Well,
don't.
Johnny said he was going over to Susie's house to play on the Xbox One, which is suspicious because the Xbox One has no game.
So yeah, just for the record though, I don't know if y'all knew this, but I'm recording this right now,
Yeah.
and I do intend on putting this
Yes.
on YouTube.
Go on ahead.
All right, that's good. Now that we got that out of the way, yeah, the Xbox.
NDA.
Dude, you can't. Dude, you can't say NDA. The only
Why
people
not?
because I'm not gonna agree to your NDA.
No, I'm saying we're agreeing to your NDA.
Oh, sure. No, NDA is totally different, dude.
No, I know. I know what an NDA is. Don't worry.
All right, so what are your thoughts on people that get like these sponsorships? Like I don't know, Raid, Shadow Legends.
Well, I was literally about
Raid
to say.
Shadow.
Oh my god.
This episode of the
Audacity
podcast is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah, so those are the two. So that's one of the like ads that have been propagating on my YouTube feed. On my YouTube
no.
like ads. The other game is I believe it's called Ark Knights.
Oh no.
I haven't seen that as much as Raid Shadow Legends.
Well, Raid Shadow Legends are like actually in.
Every time that
The
freaking
video.
ad for Shadow Legends pops up, I'm just like skip.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no
it
shit.
depends. Because there's a lot of people who you can tell don't give a shit about their sponsors, and I think
Money is money.
that's-
You know,
yeah.
AVGN is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends too, and like he's like
I mean, yeah, he's everyone knows AVGN.
yeah, I'm surprised.
When did AVGN start announcing he was sponsored? How long ago was that?
He's been sponsored.
Welcome to
by-
Shadow Legends, viewer. Continue watching this ad or I'll break your kneecaps.
Hey, stop that.
That's Foxy. Foxy won't talk because I don't know if he owns your mic or not. Or is it a she?
don't know.
I don't know what gender they are.
Foxy is a he.
He is a
Foxy is a man.
Okay, I thought so.
You were
He's a
saying
big,
earlier.
strong man.
As
You
I
were
was
saying earlier about.
as I was saying earlier, I'm surprised AVGN, let himself be sponsored by mobile games. And he's been sponsored for a while. He's sponsored by ExpressVPN,
I forget my gender as well.
Dollar Shave Club,
Well, some of those are good. Good
Raid Shadow
products.
Legends.
Like you said,
Yeah.
some of those are good products.
Yeah, as for actual like YouTube ads, I've been seeing a lot of Ark Knights. It's the one where like the guys are like, tired of your boring life, sick of all the endless drudgery. Now you can devote your life to Ark Knights.
I have no idea what that is. I've never heard of it.
So it's
Me
like,
neither.
so it's an anime game.
Of course, is it a gotcha game?
Yes, it's a gacha game. They're all gacha games. Raid Shadow Legends is a gacha
Obviously,
game.
they're called that because you spend all your money on it, and they go, haha, gotcha! And then you have no money.
Raid Shadow Legends is a gacha game for the
Yeah, I
Raid.
know. Gotcha games are just gambling.
Yeah, that's how they make
Random
money.
chance, the experience.
You know what else is
Loot
a, you know what else
boxes,
is
the
a
game.
gacha? Yeah, but basically, it's a gacha game where it's like a tower defense game.
Tower defense gotcha game.
I've started playing it. It's pretty neat.
Oh no! Don't do that. No, you're
Dude,
gonna get a sponsorship.
You end up getting broke as a joke.
dude, I don't spend money on gacha games. I'm one of those like extremely rare people that was born under a lucky star. They call them luckers. I have like 4 6 stars, and I haven't paid a single penny of my own. Google likes to give me like surveys and like I get paid, so I spent 99 cents of that, but that's it.
Right.
I'm still free to play. Free to play BTW.
Okay.
Now, having said that, though, ads are really something. You can't browse the internet without ads.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But you can't browse the internet without ad block because holy crap.
Yeah, that's also fair.
So
A
like,
lot of websites have been starting to like they can detect whether you're using ad blocker or not, and they won't let you use the website unless you disable it.
Yes, they have ad blocker blockers. So
well, let me
now
let you on.
AdBlock
Let me
has,
let you in
like,
on a little
extra
secret.
levels.
There is.
All right.
Do y'all have an extension called Grease Monkey?
No.
No.
Are you using Chrome?
Yes.
It's called.
I'm using Opera.
It's called Tamper Monkey on Chrome.
Also, I do have a mic. I just don't want my parents to bust in going all, what the hell are you doing?
I'm just telling you, you're talking to your friends.
That's fair.
But well, yeah, whatever. Having said that, though, once you get if you have Firefox, get Grease Monkey. If you have Opera or Chrome, since they're both based on Chromium,
The Chrome engine.
yes, you would get
Yeah.
Tamper Monkey. So essentially, they let you run scripts, and what I do is I use something called anti-ad blocker.
All right.
And so essentially, it detects when websites are using anti-ad block scripts, and it just blocks those.
Nice. I'll be right back.
I can link y'all it if you want. So I'm gonna link it right now, right here,
Okay.
and this will be super useful. Just read the instructions, and you should be fine. So I've been thinking about, because you know how invasive ads are. I mean, they make money off of you. It's not enough for them to show me, you know, an ad about Coca-Cola or whatever. They also have to like track what I'm doing while I see the ad. They have to track everything. It's really annoying too. It's also like, it's also a really like nefarious way to slip in malware and stuff because apparently the apparently the advertising industry has no morals. Not saying that other industries do. I'm just saying they have no actual restraints.
Anti-ad block.
Yeah, so anti-ad block killer is it's a godsend, friend. You should definitely get it. And pair it with u block origin.
Yeah, there's uBlock,
Yep.
AdBlock, and
I'm back.
Okay, so Crab, I linked it down on our Discord.
Yes.
And
Claude.
I linked
Sorry, I have a nickname at the moment on Discord.
What?
No, that's Claude. Currently my username is
Haha,
Crab.
crap.
Yeah, so Cloud, I
Yes.
I put a link
Yeah, I
to
saw.
that.
I saw.
Yeah, just read the instructions and you should be fine. It's a godsend.
Alright.
So, speaking of things on the internet, what games have y'all been playing recently?
Well, obviously, I've been playing World of Horror, as we
Yeah, me
discussed.
too.
I gotta play more games again. I've been way too busy with my college work. I want to get back into Doom 2016.
Oh yeah, I just got Doom 2016. I need to start playing that.
That's the beautiful part about graduating from college is that you don't have to worry about college work anymore. Unless I plan on going back to school, but like probably by the time I'm ready to go back to school, I'll be more mature and I can just plow through all this homework and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm just enjoying my time off college because I hate college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish I could talk to my college buds, and I do, but I meant like IRL.
All right. Well, yeah. No. So World of Horror came out yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Or the early access came out yesterday, basically. Quite good. I have already discovered a fairly OP strat, which is probably going to get nerfed. If you'd like to know.
No, I think I'm good. I think I'll figure it out for myself.
All right.
If I do ask again, then I'll ask though. But as of right now, I'm still trying to feel myself for the game. I got in like almost. I made it to the last mystery before I lost my latest run.
I have so far. I've beaten the game twice, and I've died about 5 times. So
I've only played the game like I played a tutorial.
Yes, the tutorial was the demo for ages.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
And
the
then,
School Scissors has been the demo on itch.io for ages.
and then I play, and then there was 2 runs. Both of them failed, but one of them, I died on the first mystery,
That's fair.
and then the second one
There's
I
a
made
lot
it,
of mysteries.
and the second one I made it to the 5th mystery before I died
Yes.
from stamina
That's-
loss. It's a pretty interesting game. I'm not sponsored by them, but like if they want to sponsor me, I don't mind. I don't mind giving them a shout out. Unlike a certain Legends of Shadow Riot, Riot, Riot. Umbral, Umbral champions.
Yeah.
So yeah. How long has this podcast been going on for?
For about, I think, over half an hour.
Oh yeah.
I think.
It says here about 26 minutes. That's not bad.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So let's see what else is on our list of things. Do you have anything y'all want to mention? Our
Uh,
our high tech low life is mostly about technology, but I don't mind making the exception.
um,
What's just something you want to get off your chest right now?
I haven't seen much in terms of technology development. Just haven't been paying. I have not been paying attention to like the news in general.
yeah.
All right.
Mostly all politics now.
So what is your opinion on foldable phones, foldable devices, foldable glass as they call it?
Oh, those Samsung like the fold phones. I guess pretty
Horrible.
interesting.
No,
Yeah.
it's dumb. It's stupid.
Well,
I mean, I guess it. Go
It's
ahead.
it's a gimmick, and it's not. There's better stuff that they could be doing with that technology,
like what?
like making a phone that actually folds out into something and doesn't just like. What's the point of folding it in half?
They
What
made a phone that folds from a phone to a tablet. That's called the Galaxy
Yeah.
Fold.
Yeah, and it basically melted in reviewers' hands.
Oh my
It-
god, I
it,
remember
like,
that those Samsung
Completely
exploding.
broke and didn't work at all.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was MKBHD that did that, and he destroyed his unit. That was hilarious.
Multiple people had that issue.
Yeah,
So
they allegedly fixed it on the actual
allegedly,
release.
but they didn't.
Well, what they did was they delayed the launch of the phone, and
Yeah.
a lot of the same people were noting that they have like safeguards against peeling it now. I don't know what they did, but that's basically what happened.
Mm,
I don't own one of them because they're like $1,500,
Right.
and unless
Yeah.
unless someone wants to pay me $1,500 to buy it, I mean, I'll just buy
Yeah.
But I do think a lot of people don't really have a use for tablets. I mean, the only people that use tablets are like kids.
No, that's not true. Well, I guess it depends.
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to have a Kindle Fire, but then by the time I was like 15, I never used it again.
It's
Just use
very
my smartphone.
very situational. I think it depends.
Like honestly though, like phones phones do everything, and their screens are plenty big now.
Yeah, but like, what if you had a phone that unfolded into the size of like a full tablet? Here's the thing: is that it's like the Surface Pro, right? Is like the whole conceit of it is that it's like half laptop, half tablet. But I don't think I ever see anyone use it as a tablet. Like, it's always being used as a computer, almost always.
Of course.
It's just, I think it's a weird middle ground that no one really wants a tablet. It's like it's not portable enough to be a phone, but it's not functional enough to be a computer. It's just like it's not a very useful piece of technology.
I understand where you're coming from. So you want phones to fold out into tablets so that they have the functionality
usability
of
of a phone. Yeah,
usability of a phone with like the expanded screen space. But
yeah,
I understand where you're coming from, and I think a lot of people would like to see that. But I think the issue is that a lot of people, I mean, like, think about it. Phones have been getting thinner and thinner. That's what caused the death of the headphone jack.
Well,
And
I
I'm not
mean,
and I'm not saying that the tech community is to blame, but like clearly there is
also
a
no one wanted that. Let's be clear. No one wanted to lose the headphone jack. There's no one who said, "Man, this was the greatest decision in tech history." Everyone said, "Why did you do this? Now you've just made your phone less usable."
all right, but hear me out. There is a clear need, not for, and we aren't the general customers. We're more advanced customers, but there was a clear
Wow.
need for thinner and thinner devices, and it's gotten to the point where things are just really thin. Like
I think
you might be able to cut yourself on these
honestly,
devices.
honestly, I think it's frivolous and pointless. I don't think the general consumer actually cares how thin their phone was. I think if you went up to any random like 40-year-old woman and said, "We have two phones for you here. They're almost exactly identical, but this one is half an inch thinner than the phone A is half an inch thinner than phone B, but phone B has 30 extra hours of battery life." Like, which do you think a random person on the street would pick? The phone that's half an inch thinner or the phone that has an extra 30 hours of battery?
Well, to counter that, let's take a look at some sales from. Let's look at it. The Droid Max versus the Droid.
Well, hang on. I want to also put in my grain of salt on this. Is that is usually these like the thinner phone is the new one,
Yes.
Yeah.
correct? So
Yes.
people want the new one. They don't want the thinner one. I think in most cases. But you can go on.
So as I was saying, the ones with more batteries actually sold less, primarily due to the fact that. No, I'm not gonna say that it was because it was thinner, but that's just the trend.
I mean, is there a price difference, or I mean, also like what is which is which in the naming department?
So there is three droids actually. There's the Droid Max, the Droid Ultra, and I'm not sure if this website's really reliable, but I need to find another source.
All right.
But it seems to me that, and yeah, back then, 3,500 milliamps used to be pretty big, but nowadays it's like nothing. It's like nothing. There's a lot of phones that pack like 5,000 milliamps. Apparently the S the S20 Ultra is supposed to pack like 5,000 milliamps.
Right.
That's almost like 40% more battery than the Droid Max I just mentioned.
Right.
Another thing I need to mention is that I'm not saying that people will deliberately pick smaller, like thinner phones that look better, with also
Yeah, but
smaller bezels too. I should add that's another trend that's been going.
Yeah.
But I mean the sales trends have been going towards that for a while now, and
Right.
I'm not saying that people would rather have headphones and would rather have thinner bezels and headphones, but I'm saying that the trends have been moving that way for a reason,
Right.
and it's correlation. It's not causation.
Well, I think again there's a bit of a bias on the phones that are thinner being the new hot expensive thing to buy.
yeah,
I think there's a bit of a bias there, but I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm just saying I think there's definitely if they released like two phones at the same time, I don't know if those numbers would hold up. If they would be the same,
Well, we should see. I mean, we really will. We really will.
yeah. I was just trying to say, like, to go back on like a previous topic, like I do miss the days when there was the headphone jack and like older phones. It's maybe seem like an inconvenience to me, but like I remember when I had like my iPhone 6 when I used to drive. I used to be able to charge my phone and listen to. I would plug in through the headphone jack to my car, and I'd be able to listen to it at like the same time while it charges.
Yeah.
But now I can't
Yeah.
anymore because now my phone could be losing its battery while listening to my stuff. My current phone is an iPhone. I think it's the X, and it has a pretty thin bezel.
I mean,
Like no
also
more.
there's
Doesn't have
now.
the button anymore.
Hey, there's a
Yeah.
phone that's coming out a new phone I should add that's coming out. It's got a monster battery and a headphone jack as per Tom's Hardware. It's called the LG V60.
Mm.
Huh.
Maybe I'll look into that.
Yeah. But honestly though, I mean, I'm prepared for the headphoneless future. I mean, my S8 still has a headphone. My S8 Plus still has a headphone
I'm
jack.
Personally, I'm not, only because I find having to charge Bluetooth headphones a pain in the ass. Just
I'm
because
used to it.
I don't know. I just feel like it's unnecessary steps, and also a lot of times Bluetooth can be unreliable. It's
I haven't-
still not a perfect technology, even after how long we've had it.
That is
Um,
true. That is true, though. I will say that. How often do you like listen to music with your headphones?
Fairly often, I'd say, like at
Me
least
all the
every
time.
day, at least
Every day.
every other day, at least every other day, if not more.
That's hard to say, though.
I make animations, therefore I must listen to it all the time.
Yeah,
I
do
actually
art, and
I made the transition to Bluetooth back in the
Actually, I
summer of
should
last year.
clarify when I say listen to music, I do actually mean podcasts, but still.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, friend.
It's the same
Well,
difference.
I've not fully experienced Bluetooth.
I
Yeah.
mean, aside from buying those like $300 Android phones from China, and maybe this
Right.
LG device, it seems like the headphone is going the way of the dodo.
Well,
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. It's a design decision that it baffles me. I don't understand why people want it.
I mean, I understand. I understand that, you know, no one wants to see the headphone jack on. I mean, and they didn't.
I mean,
Like
you're
they.
literally just removing usability from the phone. You've just removed an option for people who can't afford Bluetooth.
So let's.
Like,
So
I
let's.
mean, obviously it's already an expensive ass phone, but like,
So let's look back at what computers used to be before USB ports. So I'm not gonna make the same analogy, but do bear with me because I'm gonna get to the point at some point. So back before USB ports were the norm, we used to have PS2 ports,
yeah,
PS/2 ports, for
yes,
one for keyboard and one for mice, and you know what? They weren't intercompatible, and USB came and basically replaced the need for that. What
I think
they
I remember hearing about that.
but
what
here's
they
my
what hold on, I'm not done yet.
yeah. No, go ahead, go ahead.
What I'm saying is that they haven't they failed to adequately provide us a good replacement. Bluetooth may be there in about another what 5-10 years,
Yeah, right, right.
but they failed to deliver a replacement now. And look at the head, and there's not even a standard for USB Type C dongles. Like
That's fair.
like think about it. It should be the simplest thing
That's
in the world.
fair, but that's also good for the market, though.
What
'Cause it
that?
means that you don't have to buy from what that you could just have whatever your company wants to make.
Well, no, that's a bad thing because they're not intercompatible. Like some phones are incompatible with other like USB-C dongles in case you do want to use headphones, and it's insane just how much like finagling you have to do to find the perfect dongle for your device. I mean, like iPhones have it fairly simple. You just because they don't have USB Type C, they have Thunderbolt, and I mean,
Yeah, and it's proprietary, and you have to buy from Apple so they can charge you through the nose for it.
or you can buy it from China. So
That's fair. But
yeah,
my point is
yeah. Well, yeah. So, but essentially, they need to work out a new standard. I think what some companies are trying to do is they're trying to put two USB Type C ports now, one for charging, and one for your USB Type C headphones, which I think
Yeah.
are stupid, but yeah, who am I to judge?
I don't know. I only have like one pair of USB headphones, and I rarely ever use them.
Type C
I have a
headphones
pair of
or
USB head.
No, it's just a regular USB.
oh, I mean they're not gonna add regular USB headphones.
No, I'm just saying in general, I never use my because it's just because it's hard to use them in anything that isn't a computer.
Of course, that's why USB-C is poised to be the replacement for just USB. It's a much better. I mean, it can support all of the same, all of the same wiring, all the same USB formats that normal USB can. Just it's thinner and it's reversible. I mean, how many times have y'all plugged in a USB device and put it in the wrong way first before correcting it?
Yes, many times.
Many times.
Yeah.
With USB Type C, that goes away.
That's nice.
There's no like trying to finagle with it unless like they want to like I don't know.
So even if you put it upside down, it'll work either way.
Yes,
Almost similar to like what
there
Apple
is no
uses.
upside down. Yeah, it's exactly
Yeah.
what Lightning is, but on a good standard instead. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't really like Lightning all that much, but that's the one thing Apple did right. That and the MagSafe chargers they used to have before, like what, 2015. Those were awesome. I don't like Macs, but those were like awesome. I want a MagSafe charger on basically every device I use ever. So essentially, y'all have never experienced like MacBooks before like 2010, right?
No,
I
I never
think
had
I-
a MacBook.
I think
I don't
had
think
a
I
Mac.
have used one.
So
My family once had a MacBook back in like 2009, I think,
Um,
like an old one, a really big one.
I'm not a huge fan of Apple computers because they're not very good for gaming.
Me too.
okay,
They're
so
very good for video editing, though. I will say, as someone who does video editing, I don't want to say professionally because I don't get paid to do it, but someone who does video editing as a major hobby, Apple computers are very good for much better than Windows for editing, I'd say. But they're not very good for playing games, which I probably do more than video editing. So
well, yeah, that's part of the
Yeah.
reason why I haven't swapped to Linux instead of Windows. Having said
Yeah,
that,
but-
yeah. So MacBooks used to have. So this is the one thing that I will give. Like, Apple's done some really cool things. The first is MagSafe. So essentially, you know how normal laptop chargers are. You kind of just plug
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
in, and
Right.
if someone trips over your like
yes,
cable,
I
the
think I know
laptop
where
like
this is going,
falls
yeah.
too, or
Yeah.
the charger breaks. That's
they have
happened to
the
me
magnetic.
before.
I have the fear of doing that a lot.
They have
So
they
that's
have the magnetic charging cord, right?
yeah. So that's what MagSafe
Right.
used to
So
be. It's
the
easy to
the Surface
detach
Pro
because
has that too. The Surface
oh
Pro
yeah,
has
the
that now
Surface
too.
Pro does have that. That is
Yeah.
sweet. But essentially, old MagSafe used to be you just magnetically attach to the side and it would charge like a normal laptop. And if
Right.
someone tripped over it, it would be strong enough to detach the magnets from each other, and
Yeah.
your laptop and charger would be safe. I don't know about the other
Yep.
person. Yeah, they can fall on their face, whatever. I don't care.
I mean,
As
who
long
cares about
as
them? You
as
didn't
long
pay
as
$200 for them.
as long as my like $2,000 like MacBook or whatever is safe, yeah, that's cool.
You didn't pay $200 to have grandma, but you did pay $200 for your computer.
Now, hear me out though. Hear me out though. They do sell a quote unquote MagSafe USB Type C cable.
Welcome to the
Okay.
podcast.
Welcome to the
Oh, who just joined?
podcast, Schrodinger. Do be
Ah.
aware that you will be recorded if you do decide to talk. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh. Oh. Oh.
He's not talking.
Okay. It's fine.
I just don't want him to talk later on and he's gonna be like, "Oh, why'd you put this on YouTube?" Okay, so if you do understand, you can stay with us. If you don't understand, please say something, or I guess I don't know. I don't know.
I think I don't know if he can hear us. He might be broken.
Someone should tag him.
Hang on. I'll
Oh yeah, so there's this one company named Matthias, I believe it's called, that sent me this ergonomic keyboard. It's pretty slick. I enjoy using all sorts of like different keyboards, and this is just one of them.
right.
So essentially, the idea. So I mean, you understand that like handheld is pretty important, don't you?
Yeah.
So essentially, the idea is that the ergonomic keyboard is supposed to be more contoured towards how your hands are supposed to naturally be.
Right. That's what ergonomic means.
Well, yes, but you'd be. Whoa, what the heck happened to my keyboard?
Oh.
That was your keyboard.
No, I fat fingered Control or Alt.
Nice.
Whatever. Now, anyways, the point is, I mean, it's a nice keyboard. I mean, it's even a mechanical keyboard. It's like $220 normally. They unveiled this at CES 2020, and it's a pretty slick keyboard. It's programmable. I haven't experimented yet with the programming functions. I do plan to do so. It takes a little bit to get used to. It takes a little bit to getting used to because I'm used to pressing the B button with my right hand, but it's on the left side of the keyboard. It's a split keyboard, so it's so if I like yeah, it takes a lot of getting used to, unfortunately. But I think I might have finally gotten used to it. It's been like
you know what?
2 days.
Yeah. So you know what takes a lot of getting used to, is I actually have a trackball mouse instead of a regular mouse, and I think it's great. And when I first mentioned it, all of my friends basically said, "What the hell is wrong with you? I can't use this thing. You're insane." And since then, one of my other friends has gotten a trackball mouse and has been completely converted and says, "Oh yeah, this is great. I don't have to drag. I can put my mouse basically anywhere and use it. It's great." And it's one of those things that's fairly divisive, I think. Because a lot of people haven't tried it, and it's actually fairly good.
Yeah, trackball's weird. I knew a guy that played a lot of CS:GO. He was global elite with a trackball.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, track. It's not. It's
I think
not
he was just
like
BSing me, but like I had no
no.
reason
It's
to doubt
just a
it.
different. It's just a different skill. Honestly, it's not like it's not like it's any better or worse. It's just different, and it's pretty much up to preference, I think.
It is. It really is up to preference. I mean, you can use whatever you want. You know, the general common consensus is that keyboard and mice are better than controllers. But I
Well,
mean,
yeah, that's
Yeah.
I mean,
you
and in
get more
many
precision
ways,
out of a mouse.
in many
But
ways,
you
I mean
get
that's the truth. But I've seen a lot of controller gods like wreck
oh yeah,
keyboard and mouse guys.
absolutely.
And I think it's just a matter of the games. I mean, for like the F word.
No, I think
The F word.
it's a
Fortnite.
matter of the player. I think. Yeah, I don't even think it's down to the game. I think it's down to the player.
Well, it's also down to the game too because I
Well,
remember.
yeah, but
So I don't follow Fortnite, but I do remember that the one of the world champions, I believe, 2019, if I'm not mistaken, the top two were
right.
controller players.
Yeah. I heard
Wow.
about that. Yeah.
And
I had no idea about that.
and
Yep.
that was primarily because of how strong aim assist was with controllers. And they also had like, scuff controllers and stuff, but
I was that person. It's like it depends on the games. Like if I'm playing a first person shooter like Doom or Wolfenstein, I'm definitely gonna go like keyboard and mouse. That's what I feel much more comfortable with. But if it's like a side scroller like Shovel Knight or Sonic, I'm definitely gonna use a controller for that.
Speaking of controllers, did you know
Depends on the game.
Did you know World of Horror, I think, supports controllers?
Yes, it does.
I have yet to try it yet. I want to try it with my Xbox
Me too.
Elite controller, but like, I also just don't want to use it, so I can sell it and get an Xbox Elite Series 2 controller. I'm sorry, I'm just reading this. This is pretty crazy.
No, it's fine.
It's
Take
okay.
it.
Go ahead.
All right, so yeah, let's also talk about control. Let's talk about the next generation of consoles because
Oh yes. Have you heard the rumors about the PS5?
Heard a little bit of them.
which rumors? There's a lot of them.
The rumors about backwards compatibility.
All right, well, so both
Because
consoles,
those are some hype rumors.
both consoles are supposed to have full backwards compatibility with the last generation.
Right.
With Xbox taking it a little further and implementing backwards compatibility that was implemented for the Xbox One.
Now, I heard, and this was not confirmed by anyone, but there were rumors that the PS5 might have compatibility all the way back to the PS1. There was no
my
confirmation on that, but there were rumors.
Okay,
And
well,
it's still rumors that are still going around, so no one has confirmed or denied them yet.
all right. So I would not doubt I would not doubt the ability for the PS5 to run both PS1 and PS2 games on emulation.
Right.
It's the PS3 emulation that's really iffy because
Right.
a lot of computers can't really run it because the PS3 was an anomaly of like design.
Right.
So I wouldn't expect to see it's part of the reason why PS4 can't emulate PS3.
It would be great if it did, though. Just PS1 and PS2, because I have a lot of PS2 games that I would love to. I have an original copy, actually, straight up of Shadow of the Colossus, which is
you can just play the
great
remastered
game.
version, right?
No, I have, but I also have a PS2 copy of the original. I have both.
Well, you see, I believe Sony is trying to kill backwards compatibility.
I don't know.
Now, this is not based on any sort of logical explanation other than my reasoning. And my reasoning is, think about it. They've been selling PS1 and PS2 games on the PlayStation Store. There's no reason for them to allow you to pop in your original disc into a PS5 and play it that way. I think they'd rather just sell it to you, given the rights. It's also
there's no reason that if you already own the disc, it could say, "Hey, this is the disc for that game," and then just let you download that game digitally, even if it can't play the disc.
I believe I believe that the technology is there for them to be able to play this. I mean, emulators, for God, if your computer still has a CD drive, you can literally pop in a disc and play it that way.
Of course.
Now, here's a more interesting thing. So Microsoft confirmed that not only are games backwards compatible on the Xbox Series X, but also controllers and accessories are compatible.
Oh, neat. That will be very useful.
Yeah, which is very useful because Microsoft just released a Series 2 Xbox Elite controller. Imagine if they released like an endgame controller on second to last year of the console's lifespan.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that would be really annoying. Yeah, it's a good change too because the Series 2 controller looks really cool. I'll admit it's a cool $180, but come on,
That's a lot.
It's got a Type C port.
That's a lot for a controller, though.
Yeah.
Let's not beat around the bush here. That is an exorbitant amount for a video game controller.
Well, yes.
Oh no,
it is. But if you're the kind of person that likes to take your game to the next level,
that's fair.
Think about it.
That is not a product for the average consumer.
Of course,
straight
not.
up.
Of course not. But think about it. A lot of it's meant for the hardcore gamer. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm interrupting.
No, I was just about to say about compatibility. I thought you were saying how the Xbox is getting new compatibility with controls. I thought was just like the new Xbox consoles they would have further compatibility with PC, specifically only with Microsoft, and for games and stuff.
Like cross-play.
Yeah, is there anything about that? I actually wonder. I thought they were putting I thought I was saying the Halo series on PC.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it if they were. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Halo flagship series.
Rumor has it that there's not going to be an Xbox Series X exclusive. All Microsoft quote unquote exclusives are going to be on PC as well, albeit exclusively on the Xbox Store on PC. A lot of people are saying that's going to kill off the Xbox, but come on, no one But not everyone knows how to build a PC. Most kids don't know.
Of course.
I certainly
Right,
wanted
right.
to in like middle school, almost like 12 or 13 years ago, but like I didn't know how to do it, especially with like liquid cooling. That sounded intimidating as hell.
Yeah,
I
my
mean, like
computer
not
just
every,
doesn't have liquid cooling.
yeah, I mean like not every computer needs it, nor do they have it. But it just sounded really intimidating. It sounded really awesome. It's like the romance. It's like the perfect date night of computers. You want you want RGB, liquid cooling, twin graphics cards, even though no games support twin graphics cards. Uh,
I'm happy with my 970.
I mean, I have a 1070, and I'm not saying it's a
Lucky.
bad. Come on, man. I bought it used.
Oh.
You can buy used graphics cards for like $200, and it's still like an upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just waiting for the 3000 series to come out so I can make use of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nice. My graphics card's outdated, but it's still like the games I play. It still does pretty good in high and ultra settings. I'm just
Well, that's
maybe lazy.
well, well, yeah, that's true. I think a lot of the improvements with the 10 series isn't so much about the performance itself. I mean, yeah, there's performance increases, but a lot of it has to do with power efficiency, power consumption
Oh, yeah.
versus the power to give it. And I mean, if you're fine with what you've got, then yeah, that's okay. But
Yeah,
also,
like yeah, with Doom 2016, I could still run it on ultra settings at well past 60 FPS, and it's like a 60 gigabyte game, and it still runs pretty fucking good. So
what resolution
I
are you
Mhm.
I
running?
am well, yeah, 1080p, but I could probably do good at 1440p. I don't know about 4K though,
I
I mean,
have.
but I'm still happy with 1080p. I'm just
I mean, 1080p
I'm
is
upset.
still a standard. I mean, I understand that 4K is the norm for TVs and such, but
Yeah, but
it's
I
still
mean,
not the norm for PCs. They have yet to really adapt
um,
to it in a meaningful way. Like, I'm not like 4K screens are pretty expensive, and I think the sweet spot for gaming in general is 1440. I do think that Tyrant could run Doom at 1440p.
oh,
And
right.
of course I
and
could.
yeah, and you say you're and like how many frames per second did you say you get? You get well over 60, but do you know how
Well
many
over
exactly?
60. Like it's been a while. It's like well over the 60s. Maybe it's like up in the 70s, 80s. Maybe touching the hundreds a little bit.
Oh well, if you're touching the hundreds, then yeah, I mean, do you have
Of course.
do you have a 100 hertz monitor?
I have a 144 hertz monitor.
I mean, I guess it would make a little bit of a difference if you drop down below six, if you drop to 60, but
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, I do a lot of like artwork as not artwork, but like I do a lot of things that aren't gaming, so I'm stuck with the 60 hertz
Right.
color accurate monitor.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I have two monitors. I have my 144 hertz monitor and my second monitor, which I use for like reading messages. That it's technically a 144 hertz monitor, but with my 970, I use HDMI port for it, so I have to use the 60 hertz. Or
Right.
for the main one, I think it's like what they call it again. I can't believe I forgot this. The other port, the one that supports higher like refresh rates for monitors.
Display
Not
port.
HD. DisplayPort, yeah, that I use
Yeah.
that for my main
Yeah.
monitor.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm running a display port right now. I have an ultra wide monitor, and I want a second one.
Mhm.
Honestly, I just want like a U-shaped desk where I have three ultra wide monitors like surrounding me, and it looks like a semicircle.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the dream. That's the dream,
Oh,
buds.
Who joined?
hello,
It's
Calico.
Calico.
Welcome to the
Hey,
podcast.
Welcome
hold
to the
on. That
podcast.
I am obligated to tell you that I am recording a podcast right now. If you're okay with being featured on the YouTube channel, that mean it's up to you whether or
No,
not.
I'm good.
So
Yeah.
We're
Hold
discussing
Let me
technology.
just try and get this AirPod thing sorted.
your AirPods.
AirPods.
Ah,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
we were just talking about the lack of headphone jack earlier. You should have been here.
And the
But
rise of Bluetooth.
Calico is one of our resident members from down under.
what, Ed Valley?
Yes. No, as in the real world. Sorry.
Wait, what do you mean in the real world? I don't follow.
Never mind.
Yeah, I'm probably just stupid. But
I mean, I wasn't gonna
That's
say
fine.
it, but
all right, so I think we had a pretty good show right about now. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we?
yeah, Calico, you
Wrap
want to
up?
say anything before we end?
No, not at all.
You
Well,
want to
there's
say
a lot
goodbye?
of. Well, I mean, we can keep talking. I have plenty of time, and I don't know if y'all have time or not.
I have time. It's Friday
No,
night.
I have nothing but time.
Oh, I have work tomorrow, actually.
Oh shoot!
Um,
Well,
I
maybe
might have to
You
go.
guys go
maybe you
rest
should go to
then.
bed.
Yeah. When do I have work? Hang on. I need to check. I don't have work until 12:30.
I do have something I want to talk about. What is your opinion on quote unquote influencers?
What types of influencers?
Social media influencers.
Oh, I
Oh.
thought you meant like
Or, like-
voodoo.
No, not voodoo.
I know. I'm sorry, that was a bad joke.
Voodoo
Yeah.
magic.
Voodoo?
Voodoo magic.
Hoodoo voodoo.
Voodoo magic.
You remind me of the Babe.
I don't know, man. Voodoo doesn't sound very high tech to me, but that's just fine. That's just me.
You'd be surprised.
Having said that, though, do you hear me out? Do you hear me out? If you're someone with a sizable following, whether it's hundreds or thousands of people, you're an
Right.
influencer.
Mm.
Like our beloved Hedgehog, my dearest friend.
Haghorg.
My dearest friend, by the way,
Yes.
is an influencer. You know, whether or not she agrees with it. I mean, that's just how it is.
It's true.
When people watch your content, their opinions get like swayed in one direction or another.
Mm.
And I mean, and you know, sometimes influencers like to try to influence their way into getting free stuff. I mean, like, what's your opinion on that?
Should I get free stuff?
Like, there was this, like, let's say like some Instagram model, she wants to get into a bar, and she's like, "Oh, give me and my buds free drinks, and I have 30,000 followers."
Well, that's for exposure, which is bullshit.
Yeah,
That's
that's
kind of
true.
grimy.
Yeah, exposure is very grimy. Now what about people that, you know, do reviews for a living? You know, someone like my channel. I do reviews. I do keyboard reviews. I want to expand into other things, but you know, it's difficult to do so when I don't really have much else right now. I mean, I had this Logitech G512, I think it is. I don't shoot. I don't even remember the model anymore. Yeah, I believe it is the Logitech G512 mouse. That's all I got.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not the G512. I don't. Why do I have this mouse and not remember the name?
I don't know.
It's a
I think my mouse
G502.
is Wait a minute. You said G502?
Yeah, I have a G502.
Wait a minute. I think I have the same mouse. Logitech G502.
Which version? Do you have the Hero or what?
I have the Protus Spectrum.
I
put it on my. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I got that. I put my specs on my Steam account.
Do I have you added on Steam, dude?
Yes. Yeah, you just go to my account and you get my specs and gear that I use all listed.
Huh. That's weird.
Hmm.
Oh, Hedgehog's playing Okami HD.
Oh,
Hang on.
You know,
Can you?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never played Okami before. I've heard
Mm.
about it. Like I hear about it all the time, and you know,
right.
I hear about how amazing it is and how it was like Clover's last game before they split up and became Platinum Studios.
Yeah,
And I
I mean,
think
Platinum is also still phenomenal at making games, but
I mean, Platinum Games is full of ex-Capcom members, and Clover was a Capcom studio. I mean, think about it. They
yeah,
made the Beautiful Joe, Okami,
yeah,
God
all
Hand.
good
My
games.
my personal favorite is
God
God
Hand is
Hand.
great. God Hand is amazing.
I've never played
Extremely
Okami,
underrated.
but it seems like the only game that ever gets love from them is Okami.
That's true. That is very true. Beautiful Joe and God Hand get ignored a lot, which is a travesty.
It is because I enjoyed Beautiful Joe, and God Hand's my personal favorite. Who
Right.
knows? Maybe if I play Okami, maybe that'll be my personal favorite.
I mean, I don't know if it's.
But I've yet to play it.
I don't know if it's their best work because it depends on if you count things that Platinum have done as things that they've done because they're mostly the same people.
I don't think it should.
I don't know because I mean
My issue
we can
my issue with Platinum games is that they make, like, as of recently, they've made very samey games, so to speak. Every like ever since Bayonetta 1.
What are
And-
you talking about? They made fucking Nier Automata.
Okay, I'm talking about strictly from a gameplay perspective.
Yeah.
And that's strictly
And?
what I meant by samey. I mean, Platinum game. You go to Platinum Games for combat, and you know, Nier Automata also has a good story.
Yeah.
But
What about Wonderful 101? Did you play Wonderful 101? Because nobody played Wonderful 101.
I've seen my friend play it in real life. My college buds.
I've played it.
I've played it.
I've played a little
Good
bit.
ass game.
I don't own it, but yeah. Rumor has it they're trying to bring that to the PC.
Switch? Oh.
Well,
Well, because no one played it because it was on the Wii U and no one owned a Wii U.
I mean,
I remember the Wii U.
I owned a Wii U. I only owned
I
one,
mean, so did I, but
I only owned one game on it. Smash.
exactly.
Well, actually, no.
Exactly.
I bought mine off of Craigslist in a different state, and
I still have
and
a
it
Wii.
came with Mario Kart 8, and Mario Kart 8 was pretty sick.
That's fair.
It
I
was
mean,
so
Mario
s-
Kart is always Mario Kart.
Yeah, it was so sick that they decided to port that over to
Yeah.
the Switch, and I have that too. I don't know how they did that, but they made me double dip.
Like how when Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came around, when the Switch arrived, we were like, "Oh my gosh, we finally gonna get Mario Kart 9?" Nope, we're just gonna get the same game, but there's more.
I mean, yeah.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is pretty much just Mario Kart 8's DLC.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a re-release. It's an upgraded
Yeah.
re-release. Let's just call it Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
not always a good thing, though.
I mean, it's for a different system,
Yeah.
so it's acceptable. We're not back in the 90s, back when Capcom made Street Fighter 2 The World Warriors, Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition,
Yeah.
Hyper Fighting, Super Street Fighter,
Turbo.
Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2 HD Turbo, Turbo HD Remix or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, Turbo HD Remix. That's right. I think
And
so.
and you know, the newest one for the Nintendo Switch, Ultra Street Fighter 2.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like one of their best games, though. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a classic.
Fucking buy Skyrim again. You know.
It's a
Are you
classic.
gonna buy Skyrim again? Everyone's gonna buy Skyrim again.
Yeah, except Skyrim is a buggy like piece of crap. Like,
Oh yeah, Skyrim is a terrible game, which is incredibly
I think
fun.
I would have jumped on the Skyrim bandwagon had I not been exposed to Dark Souls like earlier in the year.
That's fair.
Dark.
I think I like both. Here's the thing: I like both for different reasons. They're both good games for absolutely completely different reasons. Skyrim is a terrible game, which is extremely fun, and Dark Souls is a fun game, which is extremely solid.
My personal issue with Skyrim is it's just how buggy everything is.
Oh yeah, it's like I said, it's a terrible game, but it's
yeah.
extremely fun.
Like
I actually haven't played Skyrim or Dark Souls, but I am aware of like the glitches that Skyrim had. I remember seeing like a bunch of stuff about it.
You've never played Dark Souls before?
Nope.
Like, have you played any of them?
Nope.
Have you played Bloodborne?
Nope.
Sekiro?
Nope.
Armored
I never got
Core?
into those types of games.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a huge fan of Sekiro. I didn't really like Sekiro.
I like Sekiro more. Like
I like it. I just
combat
don't like it
more.
as much as I like. I don't like it as much as I like the other games.
I never really got into those games back then. I was mostly a shooter guy and side scrollers, visual novels.
I think you would really enjoy Dark Souls. I really think you would.
Yeah, but I'm not really good with like
hard
games.
Like
game, yeah, or games that make me rage.
It's not.
That's fair.
It's not like difficult-ish.
Well, it's obviously not impossible. People have beat him just saying like, I don't really do well with like games that are like rage-inducing.
Skill games, yeah.
Well, I mean,
like high skill ceiling.
I have no skills.
I mean, you play a lot of like older style, like side scrollers, right?
Yeah, well, mostly like the old like Sonic games from the Sega Genesis. So,
like think of that. Think of that philosophy. Like think of like that old school like philosophy of not holding your hands, and that I mean that's basically Dark Souls. There isn't. There isn't a whole lot of like mechanical. I mean, there's a lot of like really weird like mathematical like due to the amount of stats and like statuses and whatnot. It's kind of insane how they even designed a game like that, but if you just ignore all of that, it's really solid. And
I actually have a fun fact about Dark Souls if you'd like to hear it.
Sure, I'm down.
So I recently heard, well, not recently, but I heard a fun fact in an interview about how why the story of Dark Souls is written the way it is, and that is in an interview. Miyazaki, who was the game's creative director, explained that when he was very young, he used to love reading Western fantasy novels, things like the first books in like the Game of Thrones series and like the old Dragonlance stuff. But the problem is that at the time he didn't have the best grasp of English. So he would read these Western fantasy books, but only sort of know what was going on because he didn't quite understand the language that the book was written in. And he said that he found that to be a really interesting way to tell a story, where you sort of have a bunch of important plot points, but you're not sure how they all fit together. And he said he wanted to make a game that evoked that feeling from his childhood, and that's where the storytelling style of Dark Souls came from.
It's a very interesting fact that you presented to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it explains a lot of why there's so many like lore bits that exist, but the
so
story
many little gaps and holes that it's sort of like you kind of have to figure it out on your own.
Yeah, but the story itself is basically just go here, ring this, kill some bosses, ring this bell.
Well, it's also a very bizarrely Western fantasy setting for a Japanese studio.
Would you say?
Because like Western fantasy is like Dungeons and Dragons, whereas Japanese fantasy is more like all their ancient folklore and all that stuff.
Like
there's a very clear divide. Yeah, like Okami, basically.
So what you're saying
what was it for their monsters again? It was called what was those monsters that they were called? Yokai.
Yeah, yokai and that sort of thing. Yeah.
So what you're saying is, From Software embarked on a bizarre adventure.
Oh. Is that a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reference?
Is that a JoJo reference?
Yeah. So you know what else is also strangely Western? They say Berserk was the first like Western fantasy that was introduced in Japan.
Yeah, it's definitely a more Western fantasy because of the sort of style. Yeah,
Oh yeah, but then
there's a very different style culturally. So
but then like every anime and such decided to use isekai and
Yes.
basically send these Japanese high schoolers to another world where there's like medieval fantasy. They're
Right.
basically in medieval Europe, but it's magical and fantasy and stuff.
Right.
That's a big like growing like thing in anime nowadays. I've seen isekai.
I think it's hit
Isekai
critical.
is very popular
I
at
think
the
it's hit critical mass.
Yeah.
Imagine if Berserk
Well,
was an
it's
isekai.
the big thing at the moment.
Imagine
Berserk
if,
is an isekai.
oh my god, Berserk is an isekai. Dude, don't you dare do this. Don't you dare.
What about,
I wanna
Pokemon Mystery
live.
Dungeon?
I want to live to
live?
see Berserk. I mean, Guts take on Griffith.
It's never gonna happen. He's
Don't-
gonna fucking die before it happens.
Dude, don't say that. He
He got off the boat. Listen, he got off the boat. He's not on the boat anymore.
Speaking of boats, is Hunter x Hunter still on the boat too?
I have no idea. I never cared about Hunter x Hunter.
I've never seen Hunter x Hunter, but everyone says it's like one of those like isn't shonen anything, but like no one talks about it.
It's Shonen Jump, and whoever says no one talks about it is clearly lying because people talk.
Yeah,
about
no,
it.
a lot of people talk about it. It's
That's just what I
it's
heard.
not
I've never
like
seen
one
it.
of the most popular. It's one of the most quietly popular. I think it's not like people aren't rabid to talk about it, but it's
has
That's
like
because
a
it
cult
keeps.
following.
That's because it keeps going on
Yeah.
hiatus, just
Yeah.
like Berserk.
Yeah. Well, I think is that the one that the guy who's making it is like in the process of dying because he has an illness.
Yeah. Whereas
yeah.
the guy that writes Berserk is just busy playing Dragon Quest.
He's also fucking 70, isn't he?
No. You know
he's
what else
dead.
he's into? He's into those idle gacha games.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
I've heard.
Full circle. It made it all the way back to gacha games. What the
Made it
heck?
all the way back to Gacha games. Should we wrap it up on the bookends? It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it right here.
All
Good
right.
show, y'all.
All right.
I will see
Yep.
if I test out the volume, and it seemed pretty fine to me when I adjusted
All right.
it.
Yeah.
So I'll just take a look at it and probably just upload on YouTube tomorrow because I can't be
Nice.
bothered to tonight.
All right.
All right, and enjoy yourselves, y'all. I'm gonna stop recording right now. In 3,
Yep. See it.
2,
See ya.
Nice work.
Nice work.